Hey guys, so also this afternoon there's a lot of projects here in New England that are called passive house. There's a lot of requirements and to have a higher performance on energy, basically energy savings. Okay, and that affects a lot of trades. Okay, not just the framing, but there's also air leakage testing. They're more robust. But how does that affect the wood framing? That affects most on the AVB, the exterior AVB. AVB, the air vapor barrier, or the it's something you install in the exterior walls to protect the building against moisture, vapor, the weather, basically. Every job has one type of system. It varies. The most common ones for us is zip system, Blueskin, Tyvek, and Siga. Okay. But if it's a passive house, it requires more detailing. For instance, the zip system. The zip system, it's already integrated with the framing, AVB. You just have to tape the seams with the seam tape, and the nails are exposed, for instance. Not if they are oven driven, more than half the way of the sheet. Cool. But if and the seam tapes are 3 and 4 inches. If it's a passive house, it might require a larger tape, like 6 inch, and tape everything, and all the nails to be caulked or have tape on top. So you see, it's a premium product of the same AVB just because it's a passive house. On the interior side, for framing, for air leakage between units, inside, outside, on this project they asked us, prior to whenever you have sheet walls, behind the sheet, the plywood, the OSB, you apply a bit of caulking. You know, there's a stud and then the sheet, so there's no air leakage in there. There's no point of air leakage on the subfloor, between the grooves also. So the whole unit is sealed with this caulking, with this bead. And on top of that, the drywaller, which is not our scope on this project, just the framing, prior to the installation of the sheetrock, there's another bead of caulking. So there's an entire layer of protection against air on the units, just to improve the energy efficiency, you know. But that is driving the cost up because it's a lot of work from a lot of trades, not just one. So that brings the cost of the project up, and I don't have the data if that increase justify the cost savings about the energy. I'm not gonna go over if it's good for the planet, environment. Of course it is. We are going through an energy crisis, but in terms of savings, that additional might take some time to compensate. I mean, there's a lot of projects requiring passive house. The architects, the developers, they are more welcoming these type of projects, so it must be worth it somehow. What else? Oh, okay, so the windows, they have more caulking as well. Between the on this project, there's a window, and there's the window extension that goes out on the outside, and between each and every piece that you assemble on site, you have a caulking, just for these to achieve this energy performance higher than usual. Also, we don't buy the windows itself. It's the GC. Probably the window has more features as well. I mean, maybe the glass is different. Maybe there's an air gap between the glasses to improve that as well. Because air is a thermal bridge, so it's difficult for heat and temperature difference outside, inside, condensation, vapor to travel. Gives an extra layer of protection for the window itself. So yeah, it's probably also more. There are also more requirements for the HVAC for energy savings as well. The electrical, probably. So yeah. My first passive house project was 2 years ago, yeah. But it's becoming more common each and every year, especially here in New England. So yeah, just be aware of the passive house when you start a project. Make sure it's passive house or not. If it's passive house, you should actually be aware when you're pricing, because it's going to affect your pricing. But once you start the job, just be aware of what you know about the product. You might get a little bit more caulking. The tapes are wider. Have to caulk the nails or not. Give special attention to the corners, maybe. Just look out for those unusual details compared to you've been doing like 10 years of non-passive house, and all of a sudden you do one, you'll think it's the same, and it's one step further. It's a premium product, premium version, you know. So yeah, just look out for those details. If the architect did his homework, it's gonna be explicit on the drawings. So make sure you are pricing that correctly and applying on the field correctly. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it for passive house. That's what I use for my daily jobs. The kind of knowledge. So yeah. To the next time. Thank you.